Show de bola, vamos nós começando mais um episódio, como sempre, a primeira coisa de todas. Se você não assistiu os 3 primeiros episódios inteiros, não me cometa a doideira de continuar assistindo este 4º episódio. Para por aqui, eu vou deixar aqui embaixo um botão, um link, você vai clicar, ele vai te jogar direto na página com os 3 primeiros episódios inteiros. Você vai assistir, seja lá os 3 inteiros, ou 2 o 3, ou só o 3, enfim. Depois você volta e continua. Não segue adiante sem ter completado os 3 primeiros inteiros, senão você vai ficar boiando. Quem já completou vai ter uma experiência incrível. Quem não completou vai boiar. Então não faça isso, tá? Se for o teu caso. Outro aviso rápido, muitas mensagens chegando sobre a Black Monday, que vai acontecer no dia 18 de novembro. No final eu falo um pouquinho mais sobre isso. E, cara, grava o que eu vou te falar. Você tem que assistir o episódio 6, que vai ao ar sexta-feira. Mas presta atenção. Tem que assistir o 6 depois de ter assistido o 5, tá? Senão não adianta nada. Agora, quem assistiu o 5, quem tiver assistido os 5 episódios, o 6º vai assim virar o jogo total na tua vida, no teu estudo de inglês. Beleza?
I have yet to give a speech or have a meeting where somebody doesn't ask me the millennial question.
What's the millennial question?
Apparently, millennials as a generation, which is a group of people who were born approximately 1984 and after, are tough to manage. And they're accused of being entitled and narcissistic, and self-interested, unfocused, lazy. But entitled is the big one. And because they confound leadership so much, what's happening is leaders are asking the millennials, what do you want? And millennials are saying, we want to work in a place with purpose, love that. We want to make an impact, whatever that means. We want free food and beanbags. And so somebody articulates some sort of purpose, there's lots of free food and there's beanbags, and yet for some reason, they're still not happy. And that's because they're missing, there's a missing piece. What I've learned is that I can break it down into 4 pieces, right? There are four things, 4 characteristics. One is parenting, the other one is technology, the third is impatience, and the 4th is environment. The generation that we call the millennials, too many of them grew up subject to, not my words, failed parenting strategies. Where, for example, they were told that they were special all the time. They were told that they could have anything they want in life, just because they want it. Some of them got into honors classes, not because they deserved it, but because their parents complained. So you take this group of people, and they graduate school, and they get a job, and they're thrust into the real world, and in an instant, they find out they're not special, their moms can't get them a promotion, that you get nothing for coming in last, and by the way, you can't just have it because you want it. And in an instant, their entire self-image is shattered. And so you have an entire generation that's growing up with lower self-esteem than previous generations. The other problem, to compound it, is we're growing up in a Facebook, Instagram world. In other words, we're good at putting filters on things. We're good at showing people that life is amazing even though I'm depressed. And so everybody sounds tough, and everybody sounds like they got it all figured out. And the reality is there's very little toughness, and most people don't have it figured out. And so when the more senior people say, well, what should we do? They sound like, this is what you gotta do. And they have no clue, right? Now let's add in technology. We know that engagement with social media and our cell phones releases a chemical called dopamine. That's why when you get a text, it feels good, right? So we've all had it where you're feeling a little bit down or feeling a little bit lonely, and so you send out 10 texts to 10 friends, hi, 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 because it feels good when you get a response. It's why we count the likes, it's why we go back 10 times to see if my Instagram is growing slower, did I do something wrong? Do they not like me anymore, right? The trauma for young kids to be unfriended, right? Because we know when you get a hit of dopamine, which feels good. It's why we like it, it's why we keep going back to it. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, it's highly, highly addictive, right?
Aqui é onde a gente parou na última aula. Because When you get it, when you get likes, when you get friends, when you get followers, when you get responses, answers, okay? You get a hit, a dose, a shot of dopamine, which feels good. So, when you get it, esse it faz referência aos likes. Opa! Likes, followers, comments, answers, responses. Okay? When you get it, when you get responses, when you get likes, when you get answers, okay? You get a hit, a dose, a shot of dopamine, which faz referência a hit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels good. It's why we like it. It's why we like it what? It's why we like Instagram. It's why we like Facebook. It's why we like smartphones. It's why we like tablets, computers. It's why we like WhatsApp. It's why we like social media. Why? Because they give us dopamine. They release, they produce, they discharge, they liberate dopamine. And it feels good. That's why we like it. That's why we like social media and smartphones. That's why we continue going back to Instagram. It's why we continue going back to Facebook. It's why we go back to the smartphone, to the computer, to tablets, to social media, because they release dopamine. They produce dopamine. And dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, em outras palavras, it's highly, highly addictive. Então, peraí, vamos entender. It's why... É por isso que a gente fica nesse vício, né? Ou muitas pessoas ficam. Because we know when we get it, o quê? Likes, followers, comments, answers, responses. We get a hit of dopamine. And dopamine feels good. That's why we like social media and cell phones. That's why we continue going back to it. Keep walking, continue walking. Keep going, continue going. Okay? It's why we continue. It's why we keep going back to our cell phones and to Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, social media in general. Because they produce dopamine, and dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, drink, and gamble. Em outras palavras, it's highly, highly addictive. Então vamos entender aqui. Primeiro, gambling, cassino, bingo, lottery, games. É quando você put money, ok? Essa foto mostra tudo, né? Cassino, baralho, bingo, lottery, gambling. Gambling, smoking, drinking, it's highly, highly addictive. Why? Because they produce dopamine. Vamos entender essa palavra agora, né? Se não for familiar para você. Addictive, addiction. Tem três terminações dessa palavra aqui. Addiction, addicted e addictive. tem 3 raízes. Raiz não, 3 terminações. A raiz é a mesma, né? Addict. Addiction, addicted, addictive. Addiction. Something you cannot control. Something you cannot stop by yourself. I stop smoking whenever I want. So stop it today. No, I don't want to stop now. Sempre tem a hora que eu quiser eu paro. Que a pessoa não se tocou que that thing, the cigarette, the alcohol, the game, started to control that person. Addiction is something you cannot control. You lost the power over the thing. Você perdeu o poder sobre o negócio. Ele passou a controlar. You cannot stop by yourself anymore. Something that starts to control you. Como pode acontecer com alcohol, gambling, smoking, cocaine. The thing you cannot control, addiction. The person addicted. And the potential to become an addiction. Nós damos o nome de addictive. Alcohol, gambling, smoking, cocaine are very addictive. They have a great potential to become an addiction. Ok? A pessoa addicted. Mas fique tranquilo que o Rapid Fire está aqui para nos salvar desta confusão e para você nunca mais esquecer. Addictive has a great potential, a great power to become an addiction. Something that can easily become an addiction. Whatever is addictive, cocaine is addictive, smoking is addictive, gambling is addictive, alcohol is addictive. Whatever is addictive, it's something we have to be very careful about. It's dangerous. Se é addictive, we have to be very careful about it. It's dangerous. Tem que tomar cuidado, é perigoso. Okay, so, for example, alcohol, smoking, gambling, cocaine, alguns remédios controlados, tarja preta, algumas drogas, aqui como tem aqui na foto, heroína. They are very highly addictive. E para a gente clarear esta diferença entre addiction, addicted e addictive, vamos meter uns rapid fire para cima disso aqui. Who is the soccer player famous for being addicted to cocaine? Eu acho que qualquer pessoa acima de 20 anos facilmente sabe que there is an Argentinian from Argentina. There's an Argentinian soccer player. There's an Argentinian soccer player, and he is very famous because he is or he was addicted to cocaine. Who is this? Or who is he? Diego Armando Maradona. Maradona is or was addicted to cocaine. His addiction was cocaine. Cocaine is highly addictive. Okay? So, who is addicted? Maradona. What is his addiction? What is Maradona addicted to? Cocaine. Cocaine is highly, very addictive. Ok? Again, Maradona, a pessoa, is addicted. Maradona is addicted to cocaine. Cocaine is his addiction. What is his addiction? Cocaine. What is he addicted to? Cocaine. His addiction, todo mundo que é addicted tem uma addiction. Todo viciado tem um vício. What is Maradona's addiction? Cocaine. Cocaine is highly addictive. Extremamente, altamente viciante. Próximo. Personagem do Bradley Cooper no filme A Star is Born, o Jackson Maine. Ou Jack. Jack, personagem dele, Jack, is addicted to alcohol. His addiction is alcohol. Alcohol is highly addictive. Who is addicted to alcohol? Maradona or Jackson Maine? Who? Jackson Maine. Jackson Maine. What is Jack addicted to? What is Jack's addiction? Alcohol. What is Maradona's addiction? Cocaine. Who is addicted to alcohol? Jack. Who is addicted to cocaine? Maradona. What is Jack's addiction? Alcohol. What is Maradona's addiction? Cocaine. What is the millennials' addiction? Social media. Who is addicted to cocaine? Maradona. Who is addicted to alcohol? Jackson Maine. Who is addicted to cell phones and social media? The millennials. E é tão sério, grave e preocupante quanto alcohol, cocaine, heroína, heroin, drugs or pills, remédios, medicine, alguns. They are highly, very addictive. Okay? Addictive. Drugs, cigarette, and alcohol are highly addictive. They can easily become an addiction. Olha que interessante. Crack is one of the most addictive drugs in the world. Some people say that using crack just once is enough, sufficient to become addicted. A pessoa to become an addiction, o crack. Using crack just once is enough, is sufficient for someone to become addicted to crack. Or using crack just once is enough, is sufficient for crack to become an addiction, vício. Para a pessoa se tornar viciada, para o crack se tornar vício, porque o crack é extremamente viciante. So it's very addictive. Just once is enough to become an addiction. And just once is enough to someone, a pessoa, become addicted. Alcohol is very addictive. Smoking is very addictive. Gambling, cocaine. E a grande temática toda aqui é que smartphones and social media are highly addictive. Extremamente viciante. Porque releases dopamine. Very addictive, altamente viciante. Se tornou uma addiction, se tornou vício.
What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
And what is happening is because we are allowing, we are permitting, authorizing, giving unfettered, unlimited, no limit, access to these dopamine-producing devices, equipments, and social media. Oh, because we are allowing, permitting, authorizing, giving unlimited use, unlimited access to electronic equipments, to electronic devices that produce dopamine. É isso que essa frase está dizendo. What is happening is there are electronic equipments, electronic devices, smartphones, tablets, computers, electronic devices, electronic equipments, equipamentos, dispositivos. There are devices and social media that produce dopamine. And the problem is we are allowing, permitting, authorizing the millennials to have unlimited access to those devices, para estes dispositivos. Nós estamos permitindo acesso ilimitado. Por quê? Existe restrição legal de idade e até restrição penal, sei lá, restrição de uso, né? Heroína é proibido, não interessa a sua idade. Cocaína é proibido. Agora, álcool, cigarro, existe uma restrição, não tem uma proibição, mas tem uma restrição. Em outras palavras, todas as outras drogas que são altamente viciantes, existem uma série de empecilhos para chegar nelas, uma série de barreiras, de dificuldades, de restrições, de proibições, de leis contra. Só que tem uma outra parada que é tão viciante quanto, porque libera a mesma substância química no cérebro, só que para essa não tem ou não está tendo restrição nem proibição. Uma adolescente de 12 anos não pode ou não deveria poder comprar 15 garrafas de cerveja, comprar cocaína. Não pode ou não deveria poder ter acesso fácil ou irrestrito ou liberado a certas coisas. Mas este mesmo adolescente de 12 anos tem acesso ilimitado a uma outra droga tão viciante e destrutiva quanto.
What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
So the problem is we are permitting, authorizing, allowing millennials, os millennials, to use unlimited access, unlimited use, unlimited access to electronic equipments that produce dopamine. É o significado de dopamine producing devices. Dispositivos produtores de dopamina. Os millennials estão tendo acesso ilimitado. E aí o que está acontecendo é, it's becoming hardwired, connected, designed, written in their brains. Essa palavra, nem que eu quisesse traduzir, eu não conseguiria. It's becoming costurado. Os neurônios estão sendo construídos em cima disso. Do mesmo jeito que acontece com uma droga. Do mesmo jeito que acontece com um adolescente que passa por algum estresse e descobre no álcool ou na droga um refúgio e aquilo fica gravado. Estressou? Droga, bebida, te relaxa. Esse alívio fica gravado na cabeça. E aí, quando ele passa por estresse de novo, a cabeça dele fala, vai lá de novo. Tá acontecendo a mesma coisa com o celular, com social media. It's becoming hardwired. Tá ficando gravado, tá ficando impregnado, tá ficando printado na rede neural. And what we are seeing is, as they grow older, as they grow up, as they become adults, as they grow older, as they grow up, as they get older, as they become adults, too many kids don't know how to form deep, profound, meaningful, important and relevant relationships. Their words, not mine. O Simon está querendo dizer assim, são as palavras deles, não sou eu que estou dizendo isso. Os millennials estão dizendo isso. Their words, not my words. São os millennials que estão dizendo isso, não sou eu. They will admit that many of their friendships, relationships are superficial, shallow, Inclusive, aliás, o oposto de deep. Se você vai no parque, na piscina, na praia, e você tem uma criança nova, ela não pode entrar nas deep waters. Extremamente perigoso. Or deep part of the swimming pool, né? Na parte deep da piscina. Se ela for nova, ela tem que ficar ou se não souber nadar, tem que ficar no shallow. Raso. Shallow pode ser tanto raso quanto superficial. É o oposto de deep. Oposto de deep. Ok? Então, basicamente, como os millennials estão tendo acesso ilimitado a dopamine producing devices, né? Dispositivos que produzem dopamina, tá ficando gravado, impregnado, registrado, registered. Igualzinho fica quando uma pessoa descobre refúgio, alívio da dor no álcool, na droga, no cigarro. Tá acontecendo a mesma coisa. E a consequência disso, too many kids, a lot of kids, several, a lot of kids, lots of kids, don't know how to form, don't know how to create, develop, construct deep, profound, deep, meaningful, profound, important, and relevant relationships. A lot of kids too many kids don't know how to form, how to create, how to develop, how to construct, to build deep, opposite of shallow, superficial, deep, real friendships, relationships, deep, meaningful, important, relevant relationships. Palavras dos millennials, não do Simon. Os millennials, the millennials, they will admit, they will confess that many of their relationships, many of their friendships are shallow, superficial.
What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
They will admit, the millennials, they will confess, they will admit that they don't count on their friends. They don't rely on their friends. They admit, they confess that they cannot trust, they cannot rely on, they cannot depend on, they cannot count on their friends. Porque the relationship is superficial. It's shallow. Então eles mesmos admitem e confessam, they cannot trust, they cannot rely on, depend on, count on their friends. Sinônimos, tá? If I can rely on you, it's because I can trust you. I can count on you. I can depend on you. se eu precisar. Então eu digo que eu posso rely on you. I can depend on you. I can count on you. I can trust. O que foi isso? I can trust you if I need. O que foi isso, gente? Ok? São sinônimos. Então eles confessam que eles não podem. Por quê? Porque os relacionamentos são superficiais, vazios, frágeis. O que os millennials mesmo dizem? They have fun with their friends. They spend good time together. But they also know that their friends will cancel out on them. They will unschedule, reschedule, cancel if something more interesting shows up. They will admit that they don't count on their friends. They don't rely. They cannot depend. They cannot count. They cannot trust. They cannot depend on their friends. They cannot count, rely on their friends. They have fun. Eles até se divertem. But they also know that their friends will cancel out. Em outras palavras, they will unschedule, reschedule, cancel. Compromisso, alguma saída, alguma coisa. If something more interesting shows up. If something better comes along. Eles mesmos admitem que eles não podem contar, depender dos seus amigos. Eles até se divertem. Mas eles também sabem, e eles mesmos admitem que eles sabem que os amigos deles cancelam com eles ou cancelam eles se alguma coisa melhor, mais interessante aparecer. They also know that their friends will cancel out them or cancel out on them. Podemos usar os dois. They will unschedule, reschedule if something more interesting shows up. Se alguma coisa mais interessante aparecer. E aí ele diz, né? Deep, opposite of shallow, superficial. Deep. Lembra aonde que é perigoso para criança? Deep waters, lá nas águas profundas. Deep, meaningful relationships. Ou profound, important and relevant relationships. Ó, sinônimos. Deep, meaningful relationships. The same as profound, important and relevant relationships. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there. Deep, meaningful relationships don't exist, are not there, don't exist, because they never practice the skill set, the abilities that are necessary to have deep, meaningful relationships. Existe um conjunto de atitudes, de habilidades que precisa ser desenvolvido, praticado por qualquer um de nós, para que possamos ter deep, meaningful relationships, relacionamentos profundos, relevantes, que têm significado, que têm valor, não são formados ao acaso. Tem que ter um investimento e tem que ter uma prática, né, do skill set, seria aquela caixinha de ferramenta ou aquele conjunto de habilidades, né? O conjunto no sentido mesmo de ali, the skill set. A maletinha das habilidades que a gente tem que praticar para poder construir deep, meaningful relationships, né? Relacionamentos valiosos, profundos, verdadeiros. Não existe porque eles nunca praticam isso. Por quê? Porque foge para a rede social, foge para o celular, foge para o telefone. Não tem que praticar as atitudes e as habilidades necessárias para desenvolver relacionamentos verdadeiros e profundos. Por quê? Porque vive essa superficialidade da rede social e aí forma relacionamentos superficiais, vazios, shallow. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there, don't exist, because they never practice the skill set. Eles nunca praticam aquilo que é necessário. And worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. Então, o que ele está dizendo aqui? They never, deep, meaningful relationships, que é a mesma coisa aqui, profound, important and relevant relationships are not there, don't exist, because they never practice the skill set, the mix, the combination, the set of abilities. And worse, pior ainda, they don't have the coping mechanisms. They don't have the weapons to fight, to combat stress. They don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. The same as they don't have the weapons. Aqui, ó. Weapons. Eles não têm isso daqui. They don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. É a mesma coisa de dizer que they don't have the weapons. Eles não têm as armas necessárias to fight. Coping mechanisms seria o equivalente a weapons, né? Armas internas. To fight, to combat stress, to deal with stress, to combat, to fight stress. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there. They don't exist anymore, né? Não se encontra mais, não existe mais deep, meaningful relationships no meio dos millennials. Because they never practice the skill set, the mix, the combination of abilities necessárias para desenvolver relacionamentos duradouros e verdadeiros e profundos. E pior, they don't have weapons to fight, to combat stress. They don't have coping mechanisms to deal with stress. They don't. Olha só, sinônimos. Se eu digo que eles they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress, a mesma coisa de eu dizer they don't know what to do with stress. They don't know how to react. They don't know how to respond when stress shows up.
What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
Então, por exemplo, digamos que a pessoa foi demitida ou perdeu, divorciou ou perdeu uma pessoa querida dela, está passando por um momento de muito estresse, de muita pressão emocional. Se a gente pergunta how is he coping, Lembra daqui do coping mechanisms? Se a gente pergunta how is he coping, é a mesma coisa de perguntar how is he doing, how is he reacting, how is he dealing with that, how is he responding, how is he combating, fighting, reacting, responding, doing, dealing, relating, coping. Como é que você está lidando com aquilo? Como é que você está reagindo, respondendo? Então, aqui o que ele quis dizer foi deep meaningful relationships are not there, né? Relacionamentos profundos, verdadeiros, não estão lá mais, não existem mais. Porque because they never practice the skill set. Eles nunca praticam as habilidades, as atitudes necessárias. E pior, they don't have the coping mechanisms. Eles não têm os mecanismos internos para responder, para reagir, para lidar com o estresse. Por quê? Porque está o tempo inteiro fugindo. Talvez não tenha facilidade para fugir, porque a droga, a gente, ao invés de enfrentar, ao invés de reagir, de responder ao estresse, a pessoa foge para a droga. Então talvez ele não tenha essa válvula de escape para fugir para a droga, mas ele está tendo uma válvula de escape de fuga para o celular e para a mídia social. Então eles não estão desenvolvendo os mecanismos internos para reagir, para lidar, para enfrentar o estresse. Esse que é o ponto central da parada. Olha o resultado. So, when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they are not turning to a person. They are turning to a device. They are turning to social media. They are turning to these things that offer temporary, shallow, superficial relief, help, comfort, assistance. When significant stress, real stress, problematic stress, starts to show up in their lives, começa a aparecer na vida dos milênios, they are not turning to a person. They are not asking for help to a person. They are not going to a person. They are not calling, talking to a person. Não looking for a person. Eles não estão indo mais, quando o estresse aparece, eles não estão indo mais atrás de uma pessoa. They are going after. They are asking for help. They are going to a device, to a cell phone, to a computer, to social media. They are turning to social media. Então, eles, ao invés de ir atrás de alguém, eles estão indo atrás de um telefone, eles estão indo atrás de uma rede social. Eles estão indo atrás dessas coisas that offer temporary, momentaneous, quick, superficial, shallow relief, alívio. Temporary, shallow, superficial assistance. Temporary, shallow, superficial comfort. It's not deep, it's not real. It's not going to last. Não vai durar, é temporary. It's quick, it's shallow, it's superficial, it's temporary.
What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, But they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along. Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
People who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher taxas de depressão. They suffer higher rates of depression, taxas de depressão, than people who spend less time on Facebook. Consequência final de tudo isso. You have a generation growing up with lower self-esteem, que é a consequência do first piece, parenting, que diz que é especial, que pode ter o que quiser só porque quer, e aí quando eles encontram o mundo real, eles têm um choque de realidade, a autoimagem deles é destruída. So you have an entire generation growing up with lower self-esteem. E a consequência da tecnologia, que se tornou, na verdade, um barzinho, um centro, uma boca de fumo, um centro de venda de drogas, entre aspas, aonde os millennials estão tendo acesso a uma droga e aí eles estão fugindo o tempo inteiro para a rede social, para o celular, e acaba que uma geração que não tem os mecanismos internos para enfrentar, para lidar, para responder e para reagir ao estresse. Sinistro, né? Sinistro, né? This is the second piece. What are the four pieces again? Parenting, já vimos. Technology, acabamos de fechar. O próximo, the next one, impatience. E o último, environment. The four pieces that explain the problem. Pra gente fechar por hoje... Pra gente fechar por hoje, muitas mensagens chegando a respeito da Black Monday, que vai acontecer no dia 18 de novembro. Black Monday vai ser um dia único de inscrições, vai ser a minha última turma da Jornada do Inglês deste ano de 2019, aonde você vai receber um voucher de R$300. Não é um desconto apelativo, porque aí a pessoa ela vai entrar, porque caracas, você não tem como perder esse desconto. Não é esse o propósito. Não é um propósito de ser um desconto que vai convencer a pessoa a fazer. É um desconto que vai dar um empurrãozinho para a pessoa parar de não procrastinar mais uma vez o sonho de ser fluente. É para dar uma ajudinha, para dar um empurrãozinho. Então, é um desconto simbólico de um voucher de R$300 e exclusivamente por e-mail. Ninguém vai conseguir fazer inscrição pelo Instagram, não vai ter anúncio no Instagram, vai ser exclusivamente por e-mail. Aliás, se você ainda não está recebendo os meus e-mails, você já deveria ter resolvido isso, mas precisa resolver isso urgentemente. E, se for necessário, volta lá no final do episódio 3. Eu explico em detalhes, passo a passo, o que você tem que fazer se você ainda não está recebendo os meus e-mails. Fechou? Beleza? Então, Black Monday vai acontecer no dia 18 de novembro. Vai ser um dia de inscrição para a última turma do ano, exclusivamente por e-mail, com um voucher de R$300 para você entrar na Jornada do Inglês, o meu programa de fluência para adultos, onde você vai ter acesso completo a todas as minhas técnicas e materiais de estudo para que você definitivamente consiga pensar e responder prontamente em inglês e tenha sucesso na hora de falar, de se comunicar com os nativos na vida real. A Jornada do Inglês são mais de 100 horas de videoaula e mais de 100 áudios exclusivos usando este método, este modelo de estudo desse intensivo. Além de 100 horas de videoaula e 100 áudios exclusivos, nós temos uma recente chegada dentro da jornada, que foi uma série que eu fiz no meio do ano, 22 horas, 22 episódios de 1 hora de inglês com Hamlet. Foi um intensivo parecido com esse, só que ao invés do tema ser entrevista, o tema foi Hamlet by Shakespeare. O livro Hamlet by Shakespeare deu 22 horas de série, tá lá dentro da jornada e, claro, com certeza, o How to Think and Answer in English vai entrar na jornada do inglês e vai ganhar lá dentro, exclusivamente lá dentro, 4 episódios que serão exclusivos para os alunos da jornada do inglês. Fechou? Beleza? Então, fica ligado, 18 de novembro, Black Monday, um dia de inscrições para a última turma do ano com um voucher de R$300 exclusivamente por e-mail e, por causa disso, acabou o How to Think and Answer in English, acabou o intensivo no dia 10 de novembro. No dia seguinte, a gente vai continuar com mais uma semana de intensivo para aqueles que estiverem interessados em saber como é que é a jornada, como é que é direito, né, o método, o programa, duração, etc., a base neurocientífica da metodologia, ouvir dezenas de estudos de caso de sucesso com a jornada do inglês, tudo isso as pesquisas científicas, etc., tudo isso vai ser explicado de forma muito detalhada, porém muito objetiva, direto ao ponto mesmo, como você está vendo que a gente faz no Código da Fluência, que vai ser 11 de novembro. Fechou? Então, quarta-feira, 8 horas da manhã, aula 5, sexta-feira, 8 horas da manhã, a última aula que vai quebrar tudo, vai acabar com tudo, no bom sentido. Você vai ter até o dia 10 de novembro, domingo, meia-noite, para assistir quantas vezes você quiser. Domingo, meia-noite, sai do ar, porque na segunda, 11 de novembro, 8 horas da manhã, então vou repetir, domingo, 10 de novembro, sai do ar o How to Think and Answer in English. Domingo, 10 de novembro, sai do ar, porque segunda, 11 de novembro, 8 horas da manhã, a gente continua o intensivo com mais uma semana só para aqueles que estiverem interessados em saber melhor e mais a respeito da jornada do inglês dessa última turma, Black Monday, de 18 de novembro. E esse é o meu último slide de hoje. See you around. God bless you.